All right. Just first things first. Just one way of explanation here. My shirt is very old shirt. It's about 26 years old. It's a World Series champion Atlanta Braves shirt from 1995, and I vowed never to get never to get rid of it until they win another championship. And they haven't won one since, but hopefully this year they will. And I'm wearing it for good luck for tonight. They're playing that game tonight. But what I'm here to talk to you about is this album. It's called Beatles VI. Beatles VI, Beatles VI. So it's the number one album the day I was born, July 29, 1965, many, many years ago. But American albums are quite different from British albums. A lot of this album came from this. I don't have the vinyl version of it, the Beatles for Sale, which is the UK album, and it had 6 songs from this album on this album. They had earlier taken 8 songs from this album on another American album called Beatles 65. I'm not here to talk about that one though. But anyway, this one is Beatles 6, and it has 6 songs from Beatles for Sale, as well as 3 songs from Help, and 1 song from this single, Yes It Is, the B-side of the single, and 1 song that wasn't on any other album or single. I'll talk about that a little bit later. But just to go into this, so I'll talk a little bit about the cover. So this photo session is, if you can see at the bottom here, they're holding a knife, cutting a cake. I'm not sure what the cake was celebrating. Probably some big selling album or single or something. Maybe signing another contract. But anyway, they wore this. They took a picture of them cutting a cake, and for whatever reason, they cut off the cake for this photo to be used for this album. This made-up American album from those various things I was telling you about. And it's got a little brief description of most or all of the songs. I think all of the songs that are on the album. A little bit of hype. The world's most popular foursome, John, Paul, George, Ringo. It's in stereo, full dimension stereo. And these albums were kind of pulled from various sources. So, because British albums had 14 songs and didn't include the singles, with a few exceptions. But American albums had 11 or 12 songs, and they threw singles on there too. And this one, I will put on for you while I continue talking. It's 33 1/3 revolutions per minute. And it's a good little record. Nothing fancy about the sleeve, just an ordinary sleeve. This side 1 is capital, and it's got composer credits and times. This is side 2, capital on the bottom as well, and composer credits and song lengths. So this is here up there. This is it. Oops. Side 1 first. So I'll continue talking while we do this. Make sure I got this on. And the first song on here is Kansas City. And so Kansas City is actually listed on here as Kansas City, sung by Paul. But Little Richard was upset because it's actually Kansas City, hey, 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 and the hey, hey, hey is his part. So they later adjusted this album to reflect the actual title of it. Okay. So the next song after Kansas City, that's from Beatles 6 as well as 8 Days a Week. And they pulled 8 Days a Week from this album to be their latest single. It was never a single in the UK, but it was a single in the United States. And again, they didn't mind having singles on the albums in the United States. And it was 8 Days a Week paired with I Don't Want to Spoil the Party. 8 Days a Week made it all the way to number 1 in the United States. I Don't Want to Spoil the Party only made it to about number 39. So both in the top 40, which is not bad for A and B side. And while I'm at it, just describe these little pictures, this back of the cover. has a little hype describing how amazing Capitol is. And I also mentioned this is also available in monophonic, which is mono. So just one speaker instead of the two, and all the sounds contained in that one speaker rather than split up over two different speakers. And then a little hype about the other Beatles albums, including Beatles Story, which is an interview album stretched out to be a double album with the same double price. Anyway, so Kansas City, hey, as you can hear in the background, and 8 days a week, both from Beatles for Sale. You Like Me Too Much, sung by George, was on Help, the B-side of the Help album. Not on this album, which is the American version of Help, which only contains the Beatles songs featured in the movie and not these extraneous tracks like You Like Me Too Much. It did also include instrumentals by Ken Thorne, the guy who made the soundtrack for the score for the album, for the movie rather. And here's a credit for Dave Dexter Jr., who was the American head of Capitol, who made all the decisions regarding songs to be featured on these albums, and he liked to give himself credit for doing that. Anyway, so next up is Bad Boy, and Bad Boy was a song. So despite all their best efforts, they were only able to come up with about 9 songs for an album, which even by American standards was not enough for an album. So they asked and pleaded with the Beatles to give them some more songs, and they didn't have any to spare, so they created Bad Boy, which is a cover of an old 50s song. And also they did Dizzy Miss Lizzy. Neither one of those songs were in England at the time, but later Dizzy Miss Lizzy was on the UK version of the Help album, not in the film, but just in the album. And Bad Boy was not featured in the UK album until Collection of Beatles Oldies, which is a whole year later. But it was that Collection of Beatles Oldies doesn't exist anymore. Now it's available on Past Masters. So very complicated. And I Don't Want to Spoil the Party was the B-side of 8 Days a Week. It was also on Beatles for Sale. Words of Love, another a song from Beatles for Sale. And that was all side 1. And then side 2 had What You're Doing, which was also on Beatles for Sale. Yes It Is was the B-side of Ticket to Ride. It was not featured in the Help movie or album, but it was the B-side of Ticket to Ride, which was on the Help album and in the movie. And then Dizzy Miss Lizzy, not on the Help film, but in the Help album. And then Tell Me What You See, also on the Help album, and not in the movie. And Every Little Thing, which was the last song from Beatles for Sale. So that was pretty much it for Beatles VI. A very interesting way of creating new albums. They had a lot of songs created, but the American market liked to stretch out. Why not sell 2 albums instead of 1? So just take some from one album, make 2 albums out of it, and just put the singles on it, and that's how that was their solution. It makes a nice little collection of songs, not necessarily what the artist intended, but I enjoyed it, and it was, little trivia, was the #1 album the day I was born, all those years ago, and I kind of like it. I got it not too long ago in a used record store, and it sounds pretty great to me. I think the collection goes well together, despite it not originally being intended that way. And I like that album a lot. And I don't say I like Beatles for Sale. I think I like Beatles for Sale a little bit better. I like the other 8 songs. But I do like some of the ones that aren't on Beatles for Sale, like Yes It Is a great song. And Bad Boy is kind of interesting. And what else? Anyway, I like it, but I like Beatles for Sale a little bit better. But anyway, that's it for Beatles VI. Thank you very much. Have a great day.